The Riley County Police Department.
Riley County Police.
Riley County Police.
Riley County Police. Police reaching out to their community.
We'll soon be using body-worn cameras.
Well, body-worn cameras first came to my attention in 2012 when I was at the International Association of Chiefs of Police conference. At the time, I came across them at a vendor display, obviously. They were big, they were bulky, they were kind of cumbersome to use, the software was kind of glitchy, they were pretty expensive. But I thought then that this was something to keep an eye on, so the next year at the same conference I checked them out again. The technology had improved, the software was a little bit better, they were still a little bit big and they were still a little pricey, so it wasn't time to do anything yet. Then rolls around 2014 and Captain Hagerty here at the police department had run across this body-worn camera notion and inquired about investigating further. Knowing that, again, technology had probably already improved, I said, hey, go for it. So he began digging around and came up with the program that we're looking at right now.
The police departments and the private sector in general, rather the public sector in general, I think are fairly slow to respond to changes in technology. So with body-worn camera technology on the horizon, we decided it would be a good idea to be prepared for what we believe would be advances in technology when it came to body-worn cameras.
Anybody who's been paying attention lately knows that body-worn cameras are kind of at the forefront of the discussion now with respect to law enforcement due to some recent incidents that have occurred around the country. I can tell you that our involvement in researching and our interest in them predate any of those incidents. We don't have anything specifically going on here in Riley County that says, oh my gosh, as a response to this, we need body-worn cameras. But what we do have is kind of a proactive thinking ahead point of view, which tells us, you know, this is probably the thing to do.
November 5th, we'll be implementing the use of 11 body-worn cameras to see if it's right for the Riley County Police Department and it's right for our officers. We selected our Aggieville Walking Patrol officers, our bike officers, and then a mobile officer on each of our 3 shifts to test these out to see if they work as we anticipate that they'll work, to see if they actually will benefit the officers and the community in the long run, and even to see if they'll serve as a replacement for our in-car camera system altogether.
Some of the things we hope to accomplish, and it's really kind of interesting, if you look around at the agencies that have implemented body-worn cameras, one of the notable things that they report is a decrease in uses of force and a decrease in complaints about use of force. So one of the things I hope we see here is something identical to that. Not that we have a whole lot of complaints about use of force or uses of force in general, but anything we can do to diminish either the need to use force or the complaints concerning it is a good thing. And certainly if you're involved in an incident with the police, I think it just serves to keep everybody honest, the cops and the people they're dealing with, if they know what they're doing is being recorded. And so to me that's a big plus. The launch of body-worn cameras is a significant undertaking. I mean, there are a whole lot of things you have to consider. You got training issues, you got policy issues, there's the financial end, of course. But you know, when you view it from the perspective of is it in the public's best interest, then it gets a lot easier to make those decisions.
We've got people who are stepping up wanting to make use of these cameras. We have people wanting to know more about it, and we've still got this group of stakeholders, front-end users involved in this process as well. So the decisions on policy, on procedure, they're all being made by the people who have to use this technology.
There are enough incidents going on around the country where it would have been handy. I'm sure administrators everywhere are looking back and going, gee, I wish we had video of that. Well, much better to take steps to make sure you do than to wish you had. Our officers on the street do a lot of things well, and we think it'd be great if we could use that for training.
When we have critical incidents, which we know we're going to have, we want to know the truth and we want to do the right thing because we want to maintain that public trust. Now, I'm not suggesting that we have officers out there behaving badly. I think we would know that if they were. But we don't want to sit back and say, things are really good now, they're going to be good forever, we don't need this. It's not the sole reason that we're looking at body-worn cameras. There are lots of other reasons, but it's a good reason, and it's a good reason for the public, and I think they expect us to deploy technology that makes our officers better.
So we thought it would be handy to be able to record what the officers get from their perspective. Because a lot of times bystander cameras, you know, the videos you see aren't that good, or they may be focused on the wrong thing, which is not to say that an officer's cameras will always be focused on the most critical component of any particular incident, but what it'll be tied to is what the officer's looking at. So when the officers turn their head to look, it'll give you more of an officer's perspective of what any particular incident looks like.
Our team felt that it was critical to have a head mount so that you would see what the officer was seeing. And the only system out there, and we happened to look at this system, this platform, was the TASER Axon Flex. And we decided that we were going to test the TASER Axon Flex, and if it wasn't going to work for us, then we weren't going to look at any other system, because we felt that that head mount option was so critical. It doesn't replicate what the eye sees. You're not going to see everything the officer sees. It's not a movie of what the officer's going through, but it's a far more accurate picture than a camera mounted anyplace else. And it was that critical. It was so critical that it was either TASER Axon Flex or nothing.